Patty, can you believe it is Thanksgiving week 2024?
No, I cannot.
Like, where has this year went
I
to?
don't know.
One of my favorite Thanksgivings
Yeah.
of modern time
Right.
was back in 2020. And as odd as that sounds, well,
I know where you're going with this.
we'll share that with you in this episode of Travels with Delaney.
The podcast.
Hey everyone, my name's Patrick.
I'm Patty.
And we are joined on the old podcast sofa by Mr. Truman and Miss Bess.
Yep, our Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. The bean.
And Patty, what do you think? We are in the podcast studio.
Yeah, it's
but it's
getting
also
better.
But it's also the bedroom again.
Yeah, it's a different color.
Yep.
If you can't see us, it used to be burgundy walls.
Yep. Now
it's gray.
Gray.
And
very light gray.
Yep. And you repainted the ceilings. They look good. And
bed is in place. It is made.
Yep.
We just have a few more things to get out of here from our eBay store.
And then I think we'll be good to go.
I think so.
Yeah, it's got to make it look cutie patootie like it used to.
So I'm going to just adjust your mic, Patty, just a little bit.
Okay.
This is like live action. So Patty, why do you think that I thought that 2020's Thanksgiving was pretty cool?
Well, if I remember correctly, people were being, quarantined.
Yes. There was a little pandemic going on that year,
and we didn't really have to. No one wanted to get together. So we had our own little special one.
That's right, in the RV. And I thought we would talk about that today.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do that, we need to do another exciting round of this or that. Wow.
I'm ready.
That might be better than the music Jim. Boy, Jim, I hope you can use that last pitch there for something. Well, I thought we would keep it on topic today.
This is called a caffeine brain.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, one caffeine, baby.
All right. So, Patty.
Yes.
It's Thanksgiving Day.
Yes.
You can only have one of these two items.
All right.
And which would you rather have?
Okay.
Would you rather have a slice of Costco pumpkin pie or Grandma Shoemaker's homemade cranberry salad?
You're just mean. Those two are awesome. I mean, one, Costco pie is like amazing. One, it's just huge, but two, it is unbelievably good. And then your grandma's cranberry salad, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'll eat it any time of the year. I love it. Oh my gosh.
But you can only have one.
I can only have one. I can only have one. Holy cow. What am I going to go with? Well, I'm going to go with the pumpkin pie.
The pumpkin pie. All right.
So I'm thinking I could make, at least in the winter, probably in January, Christmas time, I could make the cranberry salad again. So I'm going with the pumpkin pie.
All right. Well, I'm kind of glad you went with the pumpkin pie because it's a lot less work for me. You just go to Costco and you pick it up for $4.99. I have to tell you, those pumpkin pies at Costco,
awesome.
They're massive for one thing.
They're huge.
For $5, I can't make a pumpkin pie probably for that.
No.
At least not that big.
No.
And they're just good.
They're so good. The crust, everything about it.
Yeah.
All it needs is just a little whipped cream. Oh, it is so yummy, yummy.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
Although my grandmother's cranberry salad
is so good.
Yeah, it's a process.
It is
to make.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
You have to actually grind the fresh cranberries in the food processor on day one, and you add in like sugar and a whole orange.
Of sugar.
Yeah, there's a lot of sugar. I don't know, it's 2 pounds, but
it has to get happy.
Yeah, and then it sits overnight, and then the next day you kind of strain off the extra juice. And then you make like a lemon jello, and you add in your celery, and you could add in nuts if you want.
Yep.
And then it has to set overnight again.
And get happy
so
again.
if you want it on Thursday, we have to start actually making it on Tuesday to be ready.
But it is
delicious.
Worth it. It is so worth it.
If anybody's interested in finding out, we have a video from like 7 years ago, I think it was, that I recorded me making the salad for our YouTube channel, Travels with Delaney. And it was funny, that first year it didn't get many views. No. But I don't remember why. One year I think I was looking at our YouTube stats, and in our top 10, like this time of year, was this video, this old video. So I started looking at the analytics on it, and every year about a week before Thanksgiving all the way through Christmas Day. That thing just spikes in terms of number of views.
Yeah.
And then that's it for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the last 7 years, it looks like an EKG
yeah.
for this video.
Like boop, spike, boop it down, spike,
But it's an excellent recipe.
Yeah.
I'll actually put the link down in the show notes to that video or on our dedicated YouTube channel for this podcast, which is Travels with Delaney.
The podcast.
I'll put it in the description over there. So if anybody wants
now
to.
I want a piece of pumpkin pie and some cranberry salad.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, in that this or that, you couldn't have both. So.
I know, but I want both right now.
I know. They do sound good. Well, Patty, let's talk about the Thanksgiving in an RV.
Oh, it's fun.
It is fun. That's it. Podcast is over. Patty said it's fun, and we're done.
It's fun. I mean,
well, I think a lot of people think that, in an RV, like, they would be like, how could you do Thanksgiving in an RV?
We've done it.
I'm going to tell you right up front. I'm going to save you listening. If you want the easy way to have Thanksgiving in your RV, call up Cracker Barrel.
That's right.
In fact, if you want to have an easy Thanksgiving that's delicious, even at your house, call up Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, was it last year or 2 years ago? We hosted my my dad and my brother-in-law Darren and Sam, and
that's what we did.
And we did. We ordered the Cracker Barrel Thanksgiving meal, and I tell you, it was delicious and it was easy.
And it was fresh and hot and
because you pick it up cold.
Yep.
And then all the instructions are there for heating it up, and you could do that in your RV. That would be the easy way.
Absolutely.
But in 2020, we didn't go the easy route, did we?
No, we didn't. You made Thanksgiving in our Lance.
Yes. So back then we had the Lance, and I don't know if that was before we removed. I think we still had we still had the oven.
The oven was in there.
Yeah, the oven was still in there.
Yeah.
That was before the recall.
Yep.
And
we were in Smoky Mountains. We had went to Pigeon Forge.
Right. We were staying at the Ridge.
Awesome place.
Yeah, awesome campground.
Yep.
In Pigeon Forge.
Yep.
And our nephew Alex was with us.
We had some friends that camped with us.
Yeah, but they didn't.
No,
Todd
they
and Carla didn't show up until like the next day. So on Thanksgiving Day, and we had enough food. We could have served multiple campsites.
Way too much food.
I'm a little like my mother.
It was ridiculous.
Mom always made way too much food because she never wanted anybody leaving hungry.
The RV refrigerator.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. Let me just say, it's crazy.
So how we did, because a lot of people will ask me, like, how did you do Thanksgiving? How did you do a traditional Thanksgiving meal in your RV? And it was actually quite easy.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, it required some planning.
You had to have thinking and what went first, what went second. Let's process.
And we made out a menu ahead of time, so I knew exactly what I needed before we left. I think we left on Tuesday night.
Right.
Because that was back when both of us used to get Wednesday off.
Right.
Now, for a lot of years, I got Wednesday off. You didn't.
Now I do.
And then there was a couple years where we both got it off, and now I don't get Wednesday off, and you do. Yeah. So anyway.
Who knows?
So I had during the day on Wednesday, you were or Tuesday.
No, Tuesday.
On Tuesday, you were at school. I probably was done early, and so I had ground the cranberries ahead of time and had them in the RV refrigerator when we left Tuesday night, soaking in the sugar and the orange and the crushed pineapple and whatever else.
Getting all happy.
Yeah. So we took that with us. And then on Wednesday, I ended up going ahead and doing that. So we actually had my grandma's cranberry salad that year.
We did.
Yeah. And then I took our Green Mountain smoker, the little Davy Crockett, which is the I don't know what you call it, like a tailgate style smoker.
Right.
And I ended up smoking a ham and a turkey breast.
Yes.
And I think this is where people think, like, how am I going to do a turkey in my RV?
We just did the breast.
We just did a breast. Number one, there was only 3 of us.
Yep.
We definitely did not need the ham. But I wanted both because that's what we typically do.
Yeah.
And I had taken the Davy Crockett smoker from Green Mountain Grills and set that up, and we put that on early in the morning. The turkey had to go on first.
Yeah.
I think actually I put the turkey and the ham on both together.
I think you did.
The ham was fully cooked.
Yeah.
You're really bringing it back, but there's something about taking a ham that's already smoked and then throwing it on a smoker Don't you think it always gives it a good flavor?
I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alex and I, and by the way, first of all, we live in Northeast Indiana currently, for those of you that don't know. And so a lot of times at Thanksgiving, the weather's just crap around here.
Yeah, it's hit or miss.
Yeah. And so to wake up on Thanksgiving morning in the Smokies, and their weather was wonderful, at least that year. Yeah.
It was like mid-70s, sunny.
I don't know it doesn't really matter. I was going to say, I think we actually ended up walking down to that coffee house in front of the campground. We had like a donut for breakfast and some coffee, came back up.
We enjoyed the campground. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then we had, I made mashed potatoes, which that was just really taking potatoes with us.
Yep.
And that was easy. We did sweet potatoes as a casserole.
Yep.
I think, if I remember right, don't quote me on this, it seems like I bought that because, quite honestly, there's some really good sweet potato casseroles.
I think we may have bought some of that at Costco. You know,
yeah,
it's already,
I think that's what it
you just
was.
Heat them up. Yeah.
I made green bean casserole.
Yes, you did.
Now, so the potatoes were done on the stove, obviously, cooktop.
Right.
And the sweet potato casserole and the green bean casserole were done in the oven. Mm-hmm. Let's see, we had the ham, the turkey. The gravy I cheated on, and I bought some canned turkey gravy, and we just heated that up on the stove. Mm-hmm. We baked croissants.
Yes, we did.
In the oven.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
I'm
trying to think what. Oh, stuffing.
Yeah.
So that year, I actually most of the time prefer, at least at Thanksgiving, I prefer homemade stuffing.
Yeah, it's good.
But because we were in the RV, we did go with like a stovetop style stuffing, which we made on the stovetop.
Right.
I'm trying to think what else we had.
We probably had a Costco pie.
And then I don't think it was a Costco pie because they're really hard to fit in an RV. They're so big. But we had purchased both a pumpkin pie and a pecan pie.
Yeah.
And so we had a complete meal.
All this food
in the RV. Mm-hmm. And what I loved about it, if you remember, we sat outside.
Yeah.
So you had put a tablecloth on the picnic table, and you had bought special. We used paper plates to make cleanup easy.
Yep. I had like those you can buy
like Thanksgiving. Yep. And napkins. Mm-hmm. I feel like you even did something for a centerpiece. That you had brought something.
I think I had already something like a plant or something. Yeah. It was fallish looking or whatever. I forget.
Yeah. And so we set outside.
Sunflowers or something. Yeah.
We set outside for Thanksgiving. And it was nice. And so what we ended up doing was we just set it up as a small buffet in the Lance.
Yep.
And then me and Alex went through, filled our plates, at least the first time, because it was a multi-trip.
Right.
And then we went outside and enjoyed a wonderful
such a beautiful weekend.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So you can do, I think a lot of people are just like, I don't know how you would cook a complete meal, but you actually can.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the thing. We did it in our little Lance, which was, 23 feet, I think. Mm-hmm. If you can do it in that, can you imagine doing it in our Alliance Avenue?
Well, I think we've done things like that twice. I remember doing a Christmas meal with your dad in Maryland in the Lance in Florida. So, yeah, and I think being now in the Alliance, it's going to be like, oh, my gosh, look at all this space. But, yeah.
And I think that's something people, may say, well, I don't know about being in my RV for a holiday. Well, first of all, I guarantee you there's a lot of people in their RVs for the holidays.
That campground was pretty busy.
Yes.
A lot of people were camping when we were there.
Right.
And it was so nice. It's a beautiful spot anyway, but the weekend was
And I don't know how many years we've been doing it, but we have spent Christmas for at least, the last 10 years plus.
In our trailer.
In our RV.
We take it to Florida. So
and and a lot of times people are like, how do you do Christmas in your RV?
That's easy.
So now I will say our old Alliance, the 22 ml,
right?
I think that's what it was.
I think
23
so.
ml, something like that. 20 something, whatever it takes.
Whatever it was.
Yeah. It actually had a perfect place for a Christmas tree.
I'm not so sure about this one.
Well, the new one, the 29 R. Yeah. So the old one last year had like this little nook.
Almost like a little nook for a skinny, I call it a pencil Christmas tree.
And last year over Thanksgiving,
pencil tree.
we do this trip now. It's our 3rd annual, although it may come to an end next year because I think we might be in Texas or Florida, one of the two.
But yeah, we found a tree and we got decorations.
At IKEA's where we found that tree because it was, IKEA sells stuff for small spaces, so it was a perfect size tree. But this year, I am a little concerned.
I think it might have to go outside.
Which we have done because the year, there was
time ago.
a couple years, I think there was 2 years we spent Christmas in the Tab 400.
We put the tree outside.
And we would put the tree outside. We also had a Christmas where we were in the
Cougar.
Well, no, I was going to say, but I was going to say Buzz, the Jaco.
Yep,
the
and we
hummingbird.
put the tree outside.
And so if you go to a warm climate like
That's
we
easy.
do, Florida, you just put your tree outside.
A lot of people do.
Yeah. And so I think this year and you might say, well, wait a minute, your trailer is 6 or 7 feet longer.
But the way it's set up with the living space and then even if the dog kennel wasn't where it is, because it's right in front of to give you a visual.
I think it would work if the dog kennel wasn't there.
You think we could put it right there?
I think you could put it right by the kitchen island.
Okay.
But our dog kennel is there, and we bought one of those that looks like a piece of furniture, and you don't take it apart. So
and they love it.
And they love it, and we're not going to do that.
No.
So we probably will set up our Christmas tree outside this year. Now, I will be honest. You could do a complete, and we've done this years ago. My family all spent Christmas at Fort Wilderness, and Mom and myself and my sister Angie, we did a complete Christmas, meal.
Everything.
In fact, I just saw a picture the other day. I was looking through some old pictures. We had quite a few people.
We did.
So there was my cousin Amber,
right,
and my uncle Mark,
and his wife,
Marcia, and their granddaughter were there.
Angie,
Mom and Dad, Angie, Darren, Alex, Sam, you and me, and we had somehow moved picnic tables,
2 or 3 picnic tables,
lined them up, which a lot of people do at Disney.
Oh, they do,
because a lot of families go there at Christmas. And we had it all lined up, and we kind of spread out the meal between the 3 RVs.
Yep.
Because at that time, we had our Cougar fifth wheel. Mom and Dad had an identical Cougar fifth wheel. And then I think Angie and Darren had their Hornet.
Yeah.
And so we all had decent-sized kitchens.
Right.
And we did a complete – and that year there was – because it was Christmas, I don't think we did turkey. I think we just did straight-up ham. And then – but then, like you get my – used to be, you get my mom and my sister. I mean, you had things like broccoli casseroles, you had scalloped potatoes, and
apple salad. Your mom would
make Waldorf salad.
So good.
And we did all of that.
We even had wassail.
Yeah, Mom had done wassail
in her crock pot,
and
it was great.
The
tree was outside.
It was, again, a lot of leftovers in the old RV fridges. But, it was awesome having this big family gathering at the campground outside. And then the thing I love about camping at Fort Wilderness, and unfortunately this will probably be our last Christmas for a while at Fort Wilderness.
Right.
Because with us making the move to go full-time in our RV and make a career pivot.
Right. Pivot.
We're not going to have the money to spend Christmas because I will say spending Christmas at Disney is very expensive.
Ooh, yeah.
As in the tune of $300 a night to camp.
That is crazy, isn't it?
So we're going to enjoy it this year, but we know that next year it'll
be different.
Yeah, it'll be different.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be on a site because most likely wherever we go next winter, we'll end up spending Thanksgiving and Christmas in the same location.
Right.
We're thinking it's going to be Texas, and we'll be hanging out with Woody and Priscilla if they'll have us for the holidays, which I'm pretty sure they will.
If they get sick of us,
they might get sick of us. They may encourage us to go to Florida the next winter. Then, so one winter with us might be enough.
They may be like, "Shoo!"
They may be like, "There was a reason we moved to Texas all those years ago."
Away from these people.
Yeah. So anyway, we just thought it would be fun to talk about one of our favorite Thanksgivings during this time as we all get ready for Thanksgiving with our family and friends. And, as Joey used to say in French, wear the stretchy pants, so you have plenty of room as you're enjoying all that great food.
Well, and one last thing I want to mention, like, especially when we did Christmas, especially when I remember Alex and Sam, they were young, and your sister didn't, there was Santa gifts, Grandma and Grandpa gifts, Aunt and Uncle gifts, but the Santa gifts, they were like hidden. We made sure we helped her out. We hid those because we did not want the kids to see because they still believed in Santa.
And we did that whether we were in the RV
Yeah.
or we're in the timeshare.
And so we would always, they were always wrapped up in like.
Usually with us or mom and dad
someone
would
had
take the Santa gifts.
Yeah, and they were in like a trash bag or something that you couldn't see in, and then, we were Santa. So, yeah, you can do it with little ones. We kept that a secret for a long time. We were good. We were good elves. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's I'm excited about this year's Christmas,
so.
But I think we'll save that for another episode before Christmas.
So fun, and
but yeah,
all
Thanksgiving,
of them are fun.
and like I mentioned earlier, we started this tradition 3 years ago, which sadly might be the last, just because we won't be around.
Right.
But for Thanksgiving, we go and have Thanksgiving at your family's, whoever's hosting. In fact, one year we hosted it and still did this.
Yep.
I think that was 2 years ago.
Yep.
And after we all eat and enjoy some company, we then hitch up the RV and head to Columbus, Ohio.
And camp with some friends.
And we camp with Abe and Jim, Mr. Jim Kuzman, who we always like to shout out.
Thank you, Jim.
He's our friend and he's our producer for this podcast.
To our jibber jabber.
And we just have so much fun hanging out with those guys for the weekend. We we get in late. They usually go early and spend Thanksgiving.
They're there on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And they have their Thanksgiving, and then usually on Friday morning, we all get up, get around, head to IKEA.
Gotta go to IKEA.
I love IKEA, especially on Black Friday, because it's like nobody goes
Nobody's
to IKEA.
There on Black
I remember
Friday.
that first year, I was like, this is going to be ugly.
This is going to be bad.
And we got there and it was like, where is everybody? Nobody.
Yeah.
And so, we'll go to IKEA. We'll definitely eat out because I'm not cooking that weekend.
Well, it's a fun weekend. And then also we go there, too, because a local organization takes up half the campground or part of the campground.
Yeah.
And they put up this really awesome Christmas drive-through display and has music. And since we camp, we get in for free.
I'm reluctant to share this for fear it'll start filling. Well, again, but it's Alum Creek State Park, just north of Columbus.
And, it is
and
a pretty place.
they closed down one whole section. And it's some local organization or something.
I forget.
And what's great is it's like $20 to drive through it.
Yeah.
But if you're camping there,
you get free.
You get a free pass for the quote inconvenience. And honestly, it's not an inconvenience.
No.
There's two inconveniences, I would say. Number one is the dump station fresh water is not available after like 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock because they use that. That's where people pull in to pay.
Right.
So you just have to make sure you go to the dump station and get your fresh water before them. And number two, there's a lot of traffic going by the loop, but it doesn't bother.
No, well, we've been in spots. We'll see how it is this year, but it hasn't been that bad.
And I will say, if you go out like we do, because in the evenings we always go out and go have dinner, and then we come back in. Once they see we're camping there, they get you to your site quickly.
Well, it's like a different. They wave you over to come in through a different way, and they let the people go the other way. Yeah,
but that is a pretty cool experience.
It's neat. It's fun.
So we'll do some shopping and we'll do some exploring and we'll do a lot of eating and laughing and so it's
fun.
It's always fun developing traditions and again ours have changed over the years and I think everybody's does as family dynamics change So anyway, well, we've already said thank you to Jim, but we want to say thank you to all of you for taking time out of your day to listen to us do our normal
jibber jabber. And if you listen regularly, thank you very much.
Yeah, we do appreciate it.
Time of Thanksgiving, very appreciative.
Yeah, we have been doing the podcast now for 2 full years.
Yep.
And we have been on YouTube for 7.5 years. And the people we've met along the way, all of you, have become like part of our family. And we just want to say,
many of you are now very close friends, which is really cool.
Yep. So happy Thanksgiving to all of you. We hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we will see you next week. Until then, we'll see you
on down the road.
Bye.
Travels with Delaney. We'll see you on down the road.